Ja, god dag allesammans. Välkomna till denna presskonferens där vi ska presentera Sveriges Riksbanks pris i ekonomisk vetenskap till Alfred Nobels minne för år 2012. Well, good day everyone and warmly welcome to this press conference where we shall soon present the Sveriges Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences in Memory of Alfred Nobel for 2012. So we keep to our tradition. We will start in Swedish and then continue the presentation in English. And later on, when you post your questions, you are free to use either language. Ja, jag heter Staffan Normark. Jag är ständig sekreterare här vid Kungliga Vetenskapsakademin. Och med mig till höger har jag professor Per Krusell som är ordförande i ekonomipriskommittén och som kommer att ge en kort introduktion till priset. Och till vänster om mig har vi våra två experter. Närmast sitter professor Peter Gärdenfors som gärna svarar på frågor och professor Tore Ellingsen som strax ska berätta mer om vad priset handlar om. Årets ekonomipris handlar om att para ihop olika aktörer med varandra på bästa sätt. Kungliga Vetenskapsakademin har beslutat utdela Sveriges Riksbanks pris i ekonomisk vetenskap till Alfred Nobels minne år 2012 till professor Alvin E. Roth vid Harvard University, Cambridge, Massachusetts, USA och Harvard Business School, Boston, Massachusetts, USA. Och professor Lloyd S. Shapley vid University of California, Los Angeles, Kalifornien, USA. Och prismotiveringen lyder för teorin om stabila allokeringar och för utformning av marknadsinstitutioner i praktiken. This year's prize in economic sciences is about matching different agents as well as possible. The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has decided to award the Sveriges Riksbank Prize in Economic Sciences in Memory of Alfred Nobel 2012 to Professor Alvin Roth at Harvard University, Cambridge, Massachusetts, USA, and Harvard Business School, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, and to Professor Lloyd S. Shapley at University of California, Los Angeles, California, USA. And the Academy citation runs for the theory of stable allocations and the practice of market design. Professor Krusell will now give us a short summary in English, please.
Thank you, Staffan. This year's prize in economic sciences is about economic engineering. It's about how to practically design certain markets so that they work well. The context is situations where the task is to pair together two parties, like physicians to hospitals or students to schools. These are situations where the traditional market mechanism is expected to not work well. The foundations behind market design were laid in the early 1960s as rather abstract economic theory, game theory. In an effort to understand different methods for pairwise matching, Lloyd Shapley came up with a mathematical algorithm, the Gale-Shapley algorithm, that had good theoretical properties. It generated a stable allocation, as they called it at the time. Many years later, in the 1980s, Alvin Roth was trying to understand what had happened in the US markets where newly examined physicians were looking for jobs. Different mechanisms had been used, some with very bad outcomes. And Roth realized that Shapley's earlier theoretical insights were crucial in practice for understanding what worked and what did not work. He later also examined other matching markets, and he confirmed that Shapley's insights were really central. Now, many problems remained in the market for new physicians, and there were other markets too, other matching markets, like the assignment of students to schools in large cities. that also needed reform. Roth was called on to help, and with teams of researchers, he has helped redesign a number of markets. The new designs all have the Gale-Shapley algorithm at its core, and it continues to be the key to successful outcomes. Market design today is a rapidly expanding field where economics is put to concrete practical use as an engineering tool.
Thank you, Per. And now Professor Ellingsen will give a more detailed presentation.
Who gets what? That's the central question when goods are scarce, indivisible, and heterogeneous. Which worker gets which job? Which student gets to go to which school? Which patient gets access to which transplantable organ? Matching theory explains how outcomes depend on the chosen matching procedure and offers a scientific method for constructing new procedures. After a remarkable turn of events, some of the most abstract parts of economic theory have been transformed into practical tools for promoting efficient exchange. Many big discoveries have humble beginnings. 50 years ago, in 1962, two professors, David Gale and Lloyd Shapley, discussed a problem that they knew firsthand, namely the problem of college admissions. They noted that all the standard admissions procedures were unsatisfactory. Colleges would end up with too many or too few students, and some students would end up regretting the choices that they had made. Thinking about this problem, Gale and Shapley invented a procedure, the so-called deferred acceptance algorithm, that would, in principle, be much better. The deferred acceptance algorithm is very simple. First, let all students indicate which college is their favorite choice. Second, let all colleges preliminarily hold on to their favorite applicants up to the size of the college and reject the rest. Third, let all the rejected students apply to their second choice college, and so on, until all students have either been accepted by some college or rejected by all of them. Being theorists, Gale and Shapley left aside problems of practical implementation. Instead, they proved two theorems about the procedure. First, no matter how many participants there are, it always produces a stable match, in the sense that no student-college pair ever regrets that they were not matched with each other instead. Second, the procedure can be used to produce two distinct stable outcomes. One outcome is best for the students, and the other is best for the colleges. This figure presents a stylized example with 3 students and 3 colleges. And for reason to be made clear, students are dressed as doctors and colleges look like hospitals. These white arrows indicate student preferences, with the full arrows being the first choice and the stapled arrow being the second choice. Black arrows indicate college preferences. In any stable allocation, student 1 will be paired with college A as they are each other's favorites. If students get to propose, the Gale-Shapley algorithm will terminate after student 2 has proposed to college B and student 3 has proposed to college C. On the other hand, if colleges get to propose, the algorithm will terminate after college B has proposed to student 3 and college C has proposed to student 2. The first outcome is good for students, the second is good for the colleges. In 1982, Alvin Roth, our second laureate, dealt a heavy blow to the deferred acceptance algorithm. He showed that it invited manipulation. Typically, some participants will benefit from stating false preferences, potentially ruining the procedure's desirable properties. How important is this objection in practice? In 1984, Roth demonstrated that the large North American market for new medical doctors, so-called residents, had effectively been applying a deferred acceptance algorithm since 1952. The hospitals had set up a centralized clearinghouse to which medical students entering the labor market could submit their ranking of hospitals, and hospitals could submit their ranking of students. Subsequently, by studying the performance of a broad range of such clearinghouse mechanisms in the United States and elsewhere, Roth drew the conclusion that stability, precisely as defined by Gale and Shapley, was usually the key difference between success and failure of these clearinghouses. For the stable mechanisms, it seemed that manipulation was not a major problem. In 1995, Alvin Roth was asked to redesign the medical doctors' clearinghouse. The new algorithm, developed by Roth and Elliot Perenson and implemented in 1998, achieved three important goals. It allowed student couples to express joint preferences, it improved student outcomes overall, and it ensured that the students had no incentive to strategize. Honesty would be the best policy. In the process, Roth and Perenson discovered why strategic behavior had not been a big problem in practice. This was a watershed. Recently, there has been an explosion, both of theoretical research and new practical applications. One application has had direct implication for life and death decisions, namely the clearinghouse for the allocation of kidneys to patients in need of a transplant. Another rapidly growing application is to match pupils to schools, finally realizing Gale and Shapley's vision from 1962. It is a beautiful example of sophisticated economic theory being put to practical use.
Thank you, Professor Ellingsen. So well then, thank you for coming, thank you for your attention, and see you in about 1 month, 2 months. Thank you very much.